I took my wife to plenty of weird movies when we were dating. And because we were in our dating days, which this extended into our early years of marriage as well, my wife likely felt obligated to entertain my movie choices, ones that she would swiftly shut down after 10 years of marriage today. But back then, Alien Covenant, why not? Sabotage on my birthday, you bet. Riding our bikes a total of 14 miles there and back to see a late night showing of X-Men Days of Future Past, hell yeah. To be fair, we still talk about how much fun that was, but I don't know if she cared all that much about the time-traveling adventures of Wolverine. It wasn't until later that my wife made it very clear that a movie like Alien Covenant absolutely terrifies her, or that she doesn't really like to see all that much violence on screen, which makes Terrence Howard's gruesome decapitation death in Sabotage particularly grotesque. To her point, though, she might have already fallen asleep, so no harm, no foul there, I think. But anyway, I've been thinking about all of that recently. After recently learning a little nugget about Minnesota governor and vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, specifically about him and his wife Gwen when they were dating while both teaching at Alliance High School in Nebraska. You know, with Kamala Harris running a pretty abbreviated, accelerated presidential campaign, the fire hose of background information has been nonstop. So it feels like this particular little nugget got lost in the mix. But Waltz ended up asking out his smitten coworker, going on their first date to a local Hardee's and to see the 1993 movie Falling Down. I don't want us to miss that fact. Now, Falling Down isn't exactly a first date type of movie, though I might have disagreed had I wanted to see it when I was dating my own wife. Any movie's a good movie. It is, however, of course, a very good movie, starring Michael Douglas as William Defense Foster. It's about a disgruntled white man who finally loses his grip on reality while sitting in Los Angeles traffic on a scorching hot day, which I would imagine is fairly relatable. Where it starts to go off the rails for Foster is when he simply gets out of his car on the highway and figures he'll walk home, which we soon find out is a place that he is no longer welcome for very obvious reasons. Wielding a duffel bag full of weapons, he terrorizes and occasionally kills his way across Los Angeles, meeting a wide swath of the city's residents, all the while being tracked by a detective played by Robert Duvall, who is, of course, on his last day of work before retirement. Falling Down is full of great performances. It's a fantastic movie, directed by Joel Schumacher, and it's an excellent movie that examines that angry white man archetype. Foster is perhaps dressed like he might work at NASA in the 1960s, and I think that further emphasizes that he's a man out of time, unable and unwilling to recognize the country that has changed before him. He just wants things to go back to the way they were, completely unaware that it's an impossibility. His inflexibility and prejudices, ones that are very apparent and ones that he constantly claims not to have, destroy his life and are ultimately the end of him. These are themes that weren't singular to the 90s and have only intensified in the following decades, bringing us to the election before us now. Waltz, of course, is now in the thick of making his case to help push the country ever forward, an eager foil to the William Fosters of the world today.